Carl Magnus here. I thought I would talk about the first 10 to 30 seconds of the conversation, because this is where you really want to establish the attraction and the male to female polarity. Because one thing that happens a lot with beginners is they will go up to a woman and kind of give a very bad first impression that's also just not very authentic. And what I mean by that is the fact that they might go up to the women and tell them something like, I wanted to just come up and say hi, and they're kind of hiding their intent, and then they'll often go into a nice guy rapport mode where they might say something along the lines of, oh, so you look like you're out shopping today. Are you buying anything in particular? She knows that you don't actually care about this. So the whole thing will come across pretty inauthentic. And so I recommend trying to avoid the rapport seeking nice guy stuff as much as possible. And the way that you're going to be able to do this is by sticking to the structure, basically the technical structure that I've laid out. You should be establishing solid attraction within the first 10 to 30 seconds of the interaction. And that's why following the technical structure in the first 10 to 30 seconds of the conversation is so key, because if you follow the structure, you're not going to fall into these nice guy traps of pretending like you care about what kind of shopping she's doing and being inauthentic. You want to be authentic, so you want to show some intent. But showing intent isn't the same thing as going up and being super direct and saying, oh my god, you're so hot, you're so sexy. That's not what showing intent is. So she'll read between the lines, and trust me, women are very, very good at doing this. So she's going to know what you're up to, and this is going to be the best way of dealing with the first few seconds of the interaction, because that's going to set the tone for the rest of the interaction. So if you're being too weaselly and too vague in the beginning, a lot of girls are going to hold that against you. But at the same time, you don't want to be too direct. So you're not going up and saying, oh my god, you're so hot. Because in a place like Sweden, if you do that, you're going to get a lot of false positives. You're going to get girls who go, oh, thank you so much, that's so nice. And they may even stay and keep talking to you, and you'll be able to get the number, because girls are very friendly here. But those are going to be some false positives. So that's not going to be a receipt of attraction in and of itself. So you need to follow the structure of the conversation that has been laid out, in the technical process that's been laid out. And if you do that, then later down the line you'll have a bit more leeway to kind of do what you want to do and do the things that suit you. But going up and either being too vague or being too direct, both of these things are not actually good. They're not good game, particularly in the Nordics, for many different reasons. And someone like me has a lot of experience of dealing with girls in this area of the world, so I like to think I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to dealing with the girls in the Nordics. And you know, once you get the receipt of attraction, for example the IOIs and things like this, indicators of interest, that's when you'll know that you're doing a solid game. So if you are able to decrease the distance between yourself and a girl and establish a little bit of touch, for example, and she takes that and shows that she likes it, and you've done it in a calibrated way where you've earned this, then things will go well. But you need to get away from the idea that you can just wing it. You can't be winging it in the beginning. As a beginner, you need to follow some kind of structure, and then later down the line you can deviate a bit from the structure. But that's how I would approach the material to start off with, I would just follow the structure as well as I can and do the things that have been laid out, the technical steps. So for example, you could read about these technical steps in my book, Face-to-Face Flirting, How to Attract Women in the Daytime. And that will give you a very, very good understanding of what's effective and what isn't effective. And a particular point of difference when it comes to my work is that I have extensive experience of dealing with girls in the Nordics. So I know exactly what works for women in all of the countries in the Nordics. And I also know what doesn't work.